Hi. Hey, this is Megan TV. This is my new channel where I'm going to be reviewing TV shows, movies, documentaries, anything on TV. I want to talk about things that I watch, maybe what I think you guys should spend your time watching. So we are here today to talk about Game of Thrones. Now, Game of Thrones is starting this Sunday, April 14th. I have my Game of Thrones chalice here that my brother bought me. Mike Guinness in it. Okay, so I want to start this prediction off with, this is what I think about the dragons and the White Walkers. It just so happens that they come into existence at exactly the same time. So, what I think is going to happen is that all of the dragons, and this is like the first part of my prediction, and I want to like explain this, but that the dragons and the White Walkers at the end will all both die, that they will like almost like cancel each other out, like good and evil. The only way they can like live is if they're both there living, and one cannot live without the other. So we know that Sam and Bran at the same time where we left off. Sam was back from where he was studying to be a maester. Bran has been back in Winterfell for a while. One of the big bombshells, Nancy Grace, that happened at the end of the season was we find out who Jon Snow's parents really are. What I want to know first is, I think from that little clip of that trailer that I watched, that the first episode obviously is going to be where they're going to pick up where Jon Snow and Daenerys end up in Winterfell. That's where they were headed. And we know that Sam and Bran are there waiting for him. What I want to know is, are they going to talk to Jon Snow and tell him who he is in the first episode? I think that in the 6 episodes that they have to work with, I think that it's very important that that gets covered. But I just think that they just better tell Jon Snow when they get there. Now, how will that affect Jon Snow and Daenerys' relationship? Are they going to hold that off so that we can see them like love each other a little more because of whatever, because for the show or whatever? So now I want to do a prediction going back to the dragons, where I think when the final war takes place, or when they do finally have to fight these White Walkers, who we know have demolished the wall, they are coming. It's not going to take them long to get to Winterfell. We know that there's going to be a big war, whatever is going to be happening from King's Landing. If Jaime Lannister, I think because he hates Cersei now, is he going to bring his, he's going to be going against Cersei. We saw a lot of that too at the end of last season. So is he going to be, bringing his troops to Winterfell? Okay, so when there is the war, like we know, Dany is going to classically, she's going to ride her Drogon, her favorite dragon, the one who has rescued her so many times. And what I just think is so cool is that the dragon that did die was Viserion, who was named after her jerky brother anyway. And the one dragon that's left is Rhaegal, who is named after Rhaegar. And Jon Snow, I believe, is going to ride that dragon, which is just so cool because whether he knows at that point or not, it's, that dragon is named after his father, and we might even find out, and I really do think we might find out that Jon Snow might be part dragon as well. I mean, maybe that was part of the reason why he was able to be brought back to life by the red bitch. So we'll see. But what Dany doesn't know right now is that the White Walker King, the Dark King, the Night King, whatever they call him, has turned Viserion into a White Walker dragon. She doesn't know that yet. She knows her dragon's dead, but she doesn't know that her dragon is now a White Walker dragon. So when they are fighting the White Walkers, when they come upon, I believe that in the course of that war that, you know, it is going to be hard for her to like have to kill that dragon, even though she knows it's a White Walker dragon. But I think that Jon Snow is going to ride Rhaegal. I think that that's like going to be very important, that he's going to be riding another dragon with Daenerys. Like no one else has rode a dragon except her. But this is going to be like the biggest war of all time. And Jon Snow is one of the leaders of this war. So he's going to be riding that other dragon. So will Jon Snow with that other dragon kill the other White Walker dragon? I don't know. Will Dany have to, but those two dragons, the White Walker dragon and Rhaegal, are going to die for sure before Drogon. So then Daenerys is going to be riding Drogon and still fighting. And I think at the very end that Drogon is going to give his life for her. And we also know, this is like a part that's very important, that like that us Game of Throners know, that when one White Walker dies, all the White Walkers that he created die as well and disappear. And we've seen that happen. So we have to think that when the Night King is killed, when he is finally killed, that any White Walkers that are left still alive are going to drop, because he is like the head of, he's like the top of the pyramid, okay? So at the very end, it's going to kind of seem like all hope is lost. But Drogon's going to give his life for Dany. And at that moment, when Drogon is dying, the Night King is going to die. And all the White Walkers and the dragons are going to just kind of like cancel each other out. Because neither of them can live in a world without the other. You know, it's like fire and ice, good and evil. Neither one of them can live without the other. So it's not like, you know, we can't think that at the end that Dany's still going to be riding her dragons through the sky when all these White Walkers are dead. It's just, and that's going to be the sad part, that, you know, all of her dragons are going to have to give their life for this cause. But then what I think is going to happen, because they've made this issue so many times. Let me take a sec. Or Dany thinks that she can't have any children. She has it like in her mind because of what happened with her baby and with the witch who killed Drago, Khal Drogo, that those dragons are her babies and that she can't have any more children. But I think what we're going to find out, and I don't know if it's going, I think it's going to be after the war, that after her dragons are dead, what I think is going to happen, and I have it right here, that she will be pregnant with Jon Snow's baby. That we will find out, because there was a reason why they had that conversation where he asked her, well, how do you know you can't have kids, or something like that, he says. Like, I remember that. So I think that she's going to be pregnant with Jon Snow's baby. Now, will it be probably after the war or after the battle, you know, that she's going to find that out? Maybe. Maybe they'll do it before. I'm not sure. But I mean, they just had sex. So it's going to be a little while, and then she's going to find out she's pregnant. And now we got to think, like, what's going to happen to Cersei? So I predict that Arya is going to be the one who gets to kill Cersei. Because basically, Cersei is the last one on her list. You know how Arya has her list of people that she wants to kill, and when she falls asleep every night, she speaks those names. So all of them on her list are pretty much dead except for the Mountain, and he's like half dead anyway. And I think that they're gonna let the Hound kill his own brother, kill the Mountain, so Arya doesn't need to work. And she already spared the Hound. We know that the Hound was on her list, and we know all their, you know, and that she let him go, blah, blah, blah. So the Hound is going to kill his brother, but I think Arya is going to get to kill Cersei, because she's going to be the last name on her list. I mean, I know that everything's not going to be wrapped up in a little bow, like some shows are. It is kind of nice when that happens, but, you know, not everyone's going to be happy. But now with Jaime Lannister, I don't know what's going to happen with Jaime. I don't know if Jaime Lannister, he might die. Jaime Lannister might die. I don't know. Maybe he'll end up being a good guy, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Jamie. I kind of feel bad for Jamie. My last final prediction is that if Dani, for some crazy reason, because I think after all this that she will be the one to take the throne, but in some crazy chance that she doesn't, because I mean, that's what everyone wants to know, right? Who's going to be sitting on the throne at the end? Now, if Jon Snow dies, which that's a possibility, I don't know. I mean, those are the only people that I'm really thinking, like big people who might die at the end, is Jaime Lannister and Jon Snow. I mean, it might happen. You know, one major character at the end might die. You know, I mean, God, Ned Stark got his head cut off at the end of the first season. So if Jon Snow dies, I think Dani's going to take the throne and she's going to be pregnant with his baby. Now, if Jon Snow doesn't die, maybe she won't, in the very end of this whole fight, that maybe she won't even want to be on the throne at the end. And maybe who might take the throne, the only other person who I think will take the throne is Tyrion. Because that is the last person that I am not mentioning here. Tyrion, my favorite character besides Daenerys. Wouldn't it just be something that the dwarf Lannister, I mean, we might even find out that he's per Targaryen. Wouldn't it be crazy if out of everybody on the show that it's Tyrion who ends up sitting on the throne? That would just be like, wow. Like if Daenerys like says, after all this time, you know, and all this fight, I just want to like have my baby and live with Jon Snow and have sex and whatever. But I don't know. That's like the only other thing. Like it's going to be Daenerys or Tyrion on the throne. All the dragons and all the White Walkers will die. Arya is going to kill Cersei. The Hound is going to get to kill his brother, the Mountain, even though he's half dead anyway. And I think that Jon Snow might die and Jaime Lannister might die. So that's going to be my prediction. That's like kind of like an overall prediction. And as I watch the episodes and like review them with you, like at the end, like so all my videos from this point forward, what I want to do is talk about the episode. So it will be like a spoiler alert. So you won't be, you know, you're not going to want to watch like my next video until you watch the first episode next Sunday. I know everyone can watch their shows on Sunday. So, but I think like next Sunday, everyone's going to, you know, make an exception. So, okay then, I just want to say thank you. And those are my predictions and we'll see what happens. Okay, so, because I'm new to this, you know, like I have been told for a long time, and you know, like people make fun of me, like, oh, that's all Megan does is watch TV. That's what you know, and I do choose to spend my free time watching TV and movies. But when I do, you know, I don't like wasting my time on shows. If I'm going to watch a show, I'm going to really commit to it. You know, I think people are really rooting for Game of Thrones, which was like one of the biggest, craziest shows of its time. Okay, so I want you to subscribe to my channel, Megan TV. I would like to know, like, you know, I don't care if anyone says anything mean, but I would like to know, like, if some people agree with me, if anyone, like, has anything to offer to any of this, like, a character that I didn't think of, or something, like, because that's what I, you know, would like to know. Everyone subscribe to my channel. Link to Isabel's Twitter. Thank you. See you next time.